Who is the strongest Gorosei? The Gorosei, also known as the Five Elders, are a group of 5 individuals who hold the highest authority within the world government in the One Piece universe. But who among the Gorosei is the strongest? Spoiler alert, please read the latest chapter of One Piece manga to avoid spoilers in this video and to fully understand it. Well, after the revelation of the yokai form of the Gorosei at Egghead Island, this has been a debate among the One Piece community that who is the strongest out of all the Gorosei. If you already have a ranking of your own, comment below your Gorosei hierarchy. Today, we will discuss and speculate on what grounds strongest Gorosei out of 5 can be judged, and the flaw in each speculation. But first, let's introduce the Gorosei and all we know about them. The Gorosei are the highest ranking officials in the world government, wielding immense power and influence. They are the heads of the various government branches and have the final say in matters concerning the government's policies and decisions. They are responsible for making major decisions concerning the world at large, including the deployment of military forces, the management of the 7 warlords of the sea system, and the declaration of war. Each member represents one of the world government's 5 powers, yet, there is no clear indication that which Gorosei is politically the strongest and has the most influence and authority. But we are not here to talk about that, so, in the battlefield, if we compare all Gorosei with a certain character such as Akainu, or Kizaru, or Shanks, the result may vary, according to advantage each of the member might have against a certain opponent. So, for complete analysis of Gorosei's battle strength, we have to scale them on the basis of whatever little action we have seen so far, and of course whatever hints Ichiro Oda has given to us. Number 1, the oldest the strongest. One Piece, rather shonen mangas, have a tendency to present old dudes as supremely powerful, so if we apply the same rule here, the oldest Gorosei will be the strongest. As the Gorosei are considered immortal, they may be as old as the Void Century. From the looks only we can deduce that the oldest is Saint Marcus Mars, so does that make him the strongest? Saint J. Garcia Saturn is number 2 if we consider only looks, is he the second strongest? Saint Shepherd Jupiter, being the youngest is the weakest. Definitely, old age alone cannot determine who is the strongest among Gorosei, but it's a factor to keep in mind, when we later conclude, who is the strongest Gorosei member. Number 2, strongest one, is the one closest to Sun. We already know, that Oda follows the solar system theme of One Piece, with Luffy being the Sun, Imu, the Earth, the ancient weapons Uranus, Neptune, and Pluton as ancient weapons, and the 5 Gorosei as the 5 remaining planets. Considering above, the Gorosei closer to Sun must be the strongest, and accordingly Saint J. Garcia Saturn, as Saturn, must be the weakest as Jupiter is furthest from Sun, excluding ancient weapons. This makes Saint Topman Warkari the strongest. Number 3, representation in the center. Oda draws Gorosei in a certain pattern. This is not only the case with Gorosei, but usually in shonen, the most important member of a group is drawn in center. We saw when Gorosei bowed down to Imu, a certain Gorosei was in center, same was seen multiple times in the series. The Gorosei we are talking about is Saint Topman Warkari. Yes, he is shown in the middle multiple times, and we saw his abilities in chapter 1111, that blast of Boar's Conqueror's Haki, was something out of this world. Number 4, abilities, Saturn can turn into a Gyuki, a massive ox spider yokai. Mars can turn into an Itsumade, a monstrous bird yokai that is part snake. Warkari can turn into a Fengshi, a monstrous, 4-tusked boar, Yaoguar. Saint Ethan can turn into a Bakatsu, a skeletal, seemingly undead horse yokai. Jupiter can turn into a sandworm, a giant worm monster that can burrow through the earth. In terms of abilities, it is very much difficult to speculate that who among the Gorosei is the strongest, as we have seen a very little of their abilities. Saint J. Garcia Saturn, we have seen the most of. He is a Gyuki, an ox-cow demon, with poisonous abilities, insane regeneration factor and paralyzing effect under his belt. Saint Marcus Mars, we have seen his amazing speed, flying abilities and nothing else except a few smashes on the wall. Saint Shepherd Jupiter seems the least impressive, swallowing Luffy was a small W, but certainly Dory and Bragi gave him 2 L's within 2 chapters. Saint Topman Warkari, with a simple transformation, had a huge moment when he blasted a massive-scale Conqueror's Haki roar, which shook the entire Egghead Island. The most impressive Saint Ethan, aka Gandhi Gorosei, has been seen holding a long sword with a hilt resembling the Kidetsu series, rumored to be the Shodai Kidetsu. He is also speculated to be from the Wano country, as he very well knows about the country and its relation with Zou and Zunesha. And about his devil fruit powers, he was seen changing into a towering skeletal horse-like monster with a distinct head. He was able to move at an unreal speed, shutting down the pacifistas by turning into a centaur in his hybrid form. His swordplay includes freezing the opponents, as you can see the chillness every time he uses his sword. Thus, it is heavily theorized that he can also draw the cold powers from the underworld, just like how Brook does. The 5 elders all seem to possess powerful haki. As soon as they were summoned to Egghead, many powerful characters on the island, such as Roronoa Zoro, Rob Lucci and Jinbei, felt their presence, with some commenting on the impressiveness of their haki itself. Number 5, Longevity. It's unclear how long each member has served, as one of the Gorosei, or how they are selected. They appear to be elderly individuals, suggesting they have held their positions for a considerable amount of time, but no clear indication that who has served for how many years. Saint Shepherd Ju Peter appears to be youngest, but maybe he served the most, maybe he was hired first. Seems he has the most information on Sun God Nika, and the Nika fruit if we consider the information we have. Number 6, Numbers, on the Summoning Circle. If we gauge Gorosei on the basis of their number on the Summoning Circle, number 1 is Saint Shepherd Ju Peter and number 5 is Saint J. Garcia Saturn. It is possible that the Gorosei's strength can be based upon the number on Summoning Circle, but this speculation gives birth to a lot of questions, which we will discuss when we talk about flaws later in this video. Flaw in, the oldest the strongest. The flaw in this speculation is that however much Oda presents old generation as badass and powerful, he has always emphasized on young generation being one step ahead of the old ones. For an example, Luffy will eventually become stronger than Roger. Also, we have already seen Whitebeard and Garp not at their peak in old age. So, the older the stronger speculation solely cannot be applied to power scale the elders. Flaw in, strongest one, is the one closest to Sun. This speculation is closest to judging power scaling, as it makes sense for the planets closer to Sun should be more powerful. However, where does Imu fits in all of this? Imu should be stronger than the Gorosei, but they are speculated to be Earth. Even if not, they can't be Mercury, as Mercury is already occupied. Imu being Earth, cannot be weaker than Warkari and Venus Juro. So here, this minor flaw, hereby puts this speculation also as not a 100% accurate. Flaw in, representation in the center. Considering what we have seen so far, Saint Topman Warkari with a simplest yokai transformation and only one badass moment, cannot be speculated as the strongest, even though being in the center. Though, this speculation is also very close to being accurate when it comes to power scaling the Gorosei. Flaw in, abilities. If we talk about abilities, simply the flaw is that we haven't seen any Gorosei go all out, or even close to going all out. What little abilities we have seen cannot justify the power scaling of the Gorosei. Flaw in, longevity. This is neither a rule in any other shonen nor in One Piece that the one who served the longest is the strongest. Furthermore, there is no clear evidence that who among the elders has served the longest, so yes, this speculation for power scaling is not sufficient neither valid. Flaw in, numbers on the Summoning Circle. If power of the Gorosei is to be based on the number on Summoning Circle, will this make number 1 the strongest, or number 5? Also number 1 is the youngest. Saint Shepherd Ju Peter, is he the strongest? Or is the one with number 3 the strongest, as 3 is the middle number if we count from 1 to 5. Time to conclude who might be the strongest Gorosei. While Saint J. Garcia Saturn certainly possesses impressive abilities, including the ability to transform into a powerful ox-cow demon with poisonous attributes, regeneration capabilities, and paralyzing effects, there are certain factors to consider that prevent him from being unequivocally labeled as the strongest Gorosei. Firstly, the speculation linking strength to proximity to the Sun, with Saturn being furthest from the Sun among the Gorosei, may hold some weight but doesn't account for entities like Imu, who potentially surpass the Gorosei in power. Additionally, this speculation overlooks the complexities of power dynamics within the One Piece universe, where strength isn't solely determined by celestial proximity. Secondly, while Saturn's abilities are formidable, they haven't been fully showcased in combat, leaving uncertainties about the extent of his strength compared to other Gorosei members. Furthermore, the observed abilities of other Gorosei, such as Saint Ethan's mastery in swordsmanship and unique transformations, present compelling alternatives to Saturn's power. Finally, the flaw in linking age directly to strength, as depicted in the speculation of the oldest the strongest, suggests that age alone isn't a reliable indicator of combat prowess in the One Piece world. While Saturn's age may be considerable, it doesn't inherently make him the strongest among the Gorosei. In conclusion, while Saint J. Garcia Saturn possesses formidable abilities, various uncertainties and alternative interpretations prevent him from being definitively labeled as the strongest Gorosei. Saint Shepherd Jupiter presents an intriguing possibility as the strongest Gorosei, but there are several factors to consider before making a definitive conclusion. Jupiter's actions and abilities, while noteworthy, do not necessarily surpass those of his fellow Gorosei. Although he displayed some impressive feats, such as his involvement with the knowledge surrounding sun god Nika and the Nika fruit, and his ability to transform into a sandworm, these attributes may not directly translate to superior combat prowess compared to other members. Additionally, while the positioning of Jupiter as number 1 on the summoning circle may suggest significance, it's unclear how. This directly correlates with strength. The summoning circle's numbering system raises questions about which number denotes the strongest, adding ambiguity to this speculation. Overall, while Saint Shepherd Jupiter presents an intriguing possibility as the strongest Gorosei, there are uncertainties and alternative interpretations that prevent a definitive conclusion. Considering the provided information, Saint Topman Warkari emerges as a compelling candidate for the title of the strongest Gorosei. His consistent representation in the center among the Gorosei, coupled with his impressive combat capabilities, demonstrated through his transformation into a monstrous boar-like creature, and utilization of powerful conqueror's haki during the events at Egghead Island, suggests formidable strength and combat prowess. However, while Warkari's visual significance and observed abilities support the notion of his strength, uncertainties and alternative interpretations remain. Without further insight into Warkari's background, abilities, and potential adversaries, determining his true strength remains speculative. Saint Marcus Mars, on the other hand, with a cool old human form design, and a supreme yokai transformation, is a likely candidate to be the strongest among the Gorosei. Considering the fact he may be the oldest, and the fact that he has flying abilities, this is not totally wrong to judge him as the strongest. Still, the spark, the grace, the Bodhisattva specially required for one to be the strongest among top members is kind of missing. After considering the various speculations and their accompanying flaws, it's challenging to definitively identify the strongest Gorosei. However, among the members, Saint Ethan emerges as a compelling contender for the title. His speculated connections to Wano, mastery of swordsmanship with a rumored Shodai Kidetsu, and unique abilities, including transformations and icy powers, suggest a formidable combatant. While other speculations have their merits and shortcomings, Ethan's potential prowess stands out, albeit subject to further exploration in the One Piece narrative. So keeping all above in mind, if we rate the strongest Gorosei, it would be Number 1, Saint Ethan Baron Venus Jiro. Number 2, Saint Topman Warkari. Number 3, Saint Marcus Mars. Number 4, Saint Shepherd Jupiter. Number 5, Saint J. Garcia Saturn. Ultimately, until concrete evidence surfaces, the question of the strongest Gorosei remains open to interpretation, leaving room for speculation and anticipation within the One Piece community. What do you think about this rating, and how would you rank the Gorosei? Do let us know in the comments below.